Dr.C.V.Suresh Babu's Virtual Classroom presents Assessment for Learning series.
Today, we are going to discuss about participatory assessment. Under participatory assessment, there are three major subtopics present. The first one is process of participatory assessment. The second one, community monitoring of assessment. And the third one, teachers' autonomy in assessment. Let us discuss this in detail. Before we go deep into this topic, we would segregate the topic first. Participatory assessment. Participation. What is participation? The act of taking part in something. Assessment. To determine, estimate or judge. So on the whole, what is participatory assessment is parents, teachers, students and also learned people all together taking part actively in learning process of students is called as participatory assessment. Now let's look into the process of participatory assessment. There are two processes of participatory assessment. First one, the materials and resources for students are planned and discussed with parents and also learn people to get a clean cut idea in their aim to achieve the curriculum. Second one, teacher makes sure that parents and learn people get to know about assessment methods and techniques which is going to be used in a learning process, and also they can suggest some helpful measures in implementing them. Next, we will look about two levels of assessment process. Firstly, both teacher and students join together to determine what are the methods of assessment should be done in learning for practice. Secondly, learned parents should also take place in assessing students' learning, which would be very helpful for teachers in assessing their students. What exactly does this participatory assessment do in involving students and teachers? Well, let's now look into that. The first one, there is a transparency in assessment, especially in FA assessment. Second, students do self-presentation in front of teacher and especially peers. Third, the teacher submits a list of question banks from the topic which the students decided. Fourth, discussions are to be made in classroom about the difficulties found in learning subject so that students will clear their doubt then and there with the teacher. In the previous slide, we have seen how an assessment should be done. Now, we will discuss about what are the assessments should be done for the students. First, rubrics. What is rubrics? Rubrics mean a scoring guide used to evaluate the quality of students. So, a rubrics is created and it is given to the parents as a home assignment to also evaluate, which reduces the workload of a teacher. Second, group discussion, seminar, project can be assessed by well-educated parents. Finally, a panel is being set among the learned parents and also discussions is being done by the presentations which students do in the particular topic. The panel which is being created by the teacher, also has educated parents in it, which helps the teacher in securing the assessing process and also the cooperation of parents in improving the learning achievement of every student. There, your process of participatory assessment ends. Now, let's look into the second subtopic, community monitoring. What is meant by community monitoring? Community, it is a group sharing common understanding. Monitoring, a continuous process of gathering and analyzing information to compare. Community monitoring in education means it is nothing but a group consisting of learned members of society to show concern for children's education through involvement of local beneficiaries. Let's have a glimpse of the aims of community monitoring of assessment. To provide regular feedback regarding the progress or lack of program or project, and then to gather information and also to analyze the data. Then comparing the actual results and also recommending the corrective measures. Finally, to motivate women, girls, boys and men to decide their own future and also to express their needs. Community-based monitoring assessment in SSA. SSA means Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. They help in smooth administration of school in respected villages. Also, this group involves in finding how far the school is being effective and useful in this particular assessment. After finding out, they recommend what are all the necessary corrective measures to be done. As we saw how community monitoring is done in India, now let's look into how community monitoring is done in Western countries. A group formed under social scheme for learning which helps in teaching learning activities and also assessment process of students' learning. Information such as pupils' learning progress and achievement to the community people in the area of school also reaches this group regularly. Community monitored assessment. This community monitored assessment is possible in education only if learned members of the society forms a group and undertake several measures. Now let's see what are all the measures they take. First one is the data is compiled now and then and reaches to the parents. Feedback and follow-up work of students is being monitored properly. Parents and learned people take part in assessment of students' learning and provides their valuable feedback to the students. Participatory assessment is carried out only in the spirit of shared responsibility and also by enhancing protection of all members of community, which is a very important essential component. Educational researchers, they reveal that this community monitored assessment which we look now is the only way which significantly improves students' learning a lot. Now let's move on to the third and final topic, teachers' autonomy in the assessment. Autonomy. You would have all come across this word autonomy. Autonomy means self-organizing, creating its own terms. Teachers' autonomy. It refers to educational freedom given to the teachers. They can enjoy the right to carry out their professional duties without any interventions. In teachers' autonomy, teachers should be allowed to act independently in their educational activities like teaching in classroom, assessing students at regular intervals, and also providing feedback to them, which in turn intends them to give learning support to students, diagnosing the learning difficulties of students, and finally undertaking what are all the remedial measures done to the students. Now, let's look into what Kothari Education Commission has recommended on this teacher autonomy. Teacher who has the ability to understand every student's strength and weakness is the one suitable to decide the assessment for each student and implement the same by providing feedback. Now, let's look into what does these autonomous teachers can produce. They can produce a lot of autonomous learners who would be very independent in their learning process. They also bring various kinds of innovations in classroom teaching. The classroom climate also changes continuously. The teacher will also reflect upon her own teaching and try to refine it continuously. The student's learning needs is being understood and the teacher tries to fulfill them. Use of different and various kinds of assessment techniques is also being used here. It improves the learning achievement of students. Teacher accountability. Granting autonomy to teachers, they are also accountable for students' learning. Teachers' autonomy increases their sense of duty and also great responsibilities. Freedom without responsibilities develops laziness. So, freedom coupled with responsibilities improves the learning of students and also their professional efficiency enhances. Thus, teacher autonomy and their accountability goes hand in hand.
Thank you, friends. We will meet you at the next informative video. Until then, take care. If you like the video, like it, share it, and share your valuable comments with us. Do subscribe our channel for more useful videos. Take care. Have a nice day.
For more tutorial videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.